What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Wack Reviews. I'm Wackaroni, and I'm going to talk about a movie that I watched, and I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. This is a movie that I've seen before, but I had to rewatch it in order to make this for you. And there will be spoilers, so, watch out if you haven't seen this movie that I'm about to announce. You gotta watch out for spoilers, dude. So, warning, spoiler. Please stick around for the ending. I always put like outtakes and stupid shit and like mess ups that I do, and sometimes it's fun. You guys might like it. This time I'm going to be talking about Captain Marvel. I'm still going along the MCU movies, and we're at Captain Marvel right now, and so I'm going to talk about most of the things that happen in the movie and give you my opinions as I go, but also mostly at the end. So let's get into it. Where there's usually a Marvel logo and like an Avengers type theme over, over the credits, this time it is more of a tribute to Stan Lee. I think this was right. They made this movie right after Stan Lee died. R.I.P. Stan Lee. And they do a nice little tribute to him at the beginning. So the movie starts, and we're sort of waking up. We're seeing from the perspective of somebody, and there's like almost like a war happening. There's explosions and crazy stuff going on. It seems like a war is happening, and there's like weird memories, and we see that this person has some sort of weird power that they don't understand. We find out that this is our hero, Captain Marvel, at the beginning of her journey, and she is training to be good, but she already has power. She just needs to find a way to focus and get better at fighting. And we find out that these people are the Kree. The Kree are a people, and they talk to this thing that they call the Supreme Intelligence, and it sort of tells them what to do. And Supreme Intelligence tells them that there's these creatures that are taking over places, and they're the Skrull, and the Skrulls are bad. Supreme Intelligence tells them we gotta find one of the Kree and spies and save them from the Skrull, who have figured out that there's a Kree spy. So this Captain Marvel lady goes to a planet with her group, her team of Kree people. They're all different races of aliens and whatnot. They let her have her crazy mohawk that she has in the comics sometimes, and it's part of the suit thing, and I thought that was kind of a neat little touch. There's a big smoky fight. It's kind of hard to see what's going on, but there's like refugees and aliens, and they're trying to go there to get the guy and save him, but there's other people, and some of the Skrulls have infiltrated, so they're pretending to be other people, but everything's very smoky and misty and whatnot. We keep seeing these memories that she has of being a pilot. She doesn't quite know what's going on with her head and where she came from. During the big smoky extraction, she gets captured, and they're like looking through her memories, and there's a very interesting moment where they're like looking through memories, and they're able to like rewind some of her memories and be like, hey, focus on that, look at that thing. Oh, what was that? Rewind, fast forward. They're looking through her memories and shit. It's interesting. Of course, men in the past in these memories are like, you're just a girl, you can't do things. She has her hands in these weird metal shackles. She's able to rip out of whatever that's attached to, but the shackles are still there. But she's able to sort of beat up the people and try to escape while she still has the shackles on, but she still has the fiery power within her fists, so it's like fiery shackles. She's punching dudes, and, that's cool. Able to cause some big explosion, and then she escapes to Earth. Just barely, in some ship that barely is able to contain her and take her to Earth, and she crash lands into a blockbuster, and then there's, goofy old 90s references to remind us that it's the 90s, and then she talks to like a security guard, and he's like, there's a Radio Shack over there, because she needs to like contact people, and they keep calling her Veers, which is kind of silly, but it starts to make sense later. They call her Veers. But then, she's causing a lot of attention, so Sam Jackson and Paul Coulson, is that his name? Coulson. Whatever. Agent Coulson and Sam Jackson come from S.H.I.E.L.D. and start asking her questions and stuff. And of course, they do some de-aging. I didn't like it on the first watch, but on the second watch, I didn't quite mind the de-aging as much. I think the de-aging stuff the technology is getting pretty good. I think they're doing an okay job with the de-aging. But then she's following one of the Skrull that is on the planet, and there's a bus that she gets on, and one of these people is one of the Skrull pretending to be an old woman. But also there's a Stan Lee cameo. Maybe I don't think it's the last Stan Lee cameo, but he's like reading the script from Mallrats, which is a fun little meta thing because he was also in Mallrats, but he's like reading the script from Mallrats, and she sort of gives him a nice little smile, little smirk, whatever, and then moves on, finds the Skrull, and then there's a big like train fight. It's kind of cool. Train fight between Veers and the Skrull person. So then she goes to some place where there's some motorcycle dude that's like talking to her like, "Hey honey, what's up? What's up, sweetie? Do you have a smile for me?" So like when he walks away, she just immediately steals his motorcycle. And then Ben Mendelsohn shows up and he's like talking with Sam Jackson about how you can't trust anybody. There's aliens that could look like us, and these are the aliens, and we can't trust anyone, can we? So she's talking to Sam Jackson, and he's like, how can I trust you? How can you prove who you say you are? And she uses her power to go, beep, and like destroy the jukebox at this place, at this bar that she used to go to. Thought that was kind of rude. just destroying a jukebox at the place to prove that you're a person. They talk about this thing like Pegasus, Project Pegasus. They were working on a light speed engine, and that's why everybody's looking for this thing. The Skrulls are looking for the light speed engine thing. So they go to like NASA Air Force place, and they find a cat, but the cat is not a cat. It's a Flarkin or something. It's the cat is named Goose, but this is some sort of alien. It's not really a cat. It's sort of an alien. They find files on the Lightspeed engine, and then people find out what they're doing. But then they escape using some older ship, some older type of technology. But it's also it's a ship that can also go up into space. And then we meet this character that was one of her old Air Force buddies. It's Maria Rambeau. I always get them mixed up. It's Monica Rambeau or Maria Rambeau. But that was her friend that used to be in the Air Force with her and her kid. I thought this was a goofy moment. Captain Marvel person is... She's wearing this 9 Inch Nails, the NIN 9 Inch Nails t-shirt. And she wears it for a long time. And it's a little distracting to me. It's like, oh, it's the 90s. It's the 90s. The 90s. 9 Inch Nails 90s. The 90s. It's the 90s. Remember Radio 90s. Shack and fucking Blockbuster? And then there's more of this goofy shit where it's like, ladies can't compete in combat the same as men. Ladies are weaker. And then they find, like, the other part of the dog tag that says Vers. The other part is Carol Dan. Oh, her name's Carol Dan Vers. She's not Veers, you fucking idiots. Every time Ben Mendelsohn talks, I'm not talking shit. I love Ben Mendelsohn. But every time he talks, it sounds like he has cotton balls in his mouth. It's like, no, don't you were gonna do the thing. You gotta watch out. You never trust people around. You never trust some people. And there's a scene where she's like logging on to the internet to try and figure out certain things. And they're like, what is that sound? What is all this? It's like, old 90s internet sounded funny. That's the joke. Old 90s internet sounded funny, didn't it? Only some of us remember the 90s. And she's starting to get some of her memories sort of figured out, but not really. And in the past, the guy that she'd been training with was Jan Rog, and he wants the power core for the light speed thing, but she blows it up so that nobody can get it. Turns out these Skrull people were just trying to save themselves, trying to get away from the Kree and the people that were trying to capture them or kill them, and they want the light speed thing so they can go away from the people that are trying to attack them. the Skrull are the people that can, like, change their shapeshifters. They change things. Carol lets little Rambo, whichever one it was, Monica or Maria, whatever the kid was, Carol lets that one, like, help her decide what her new colors of her costume are going to be. And they end up with the, the traditional gold and blue and red and gold. And it looks cool. It's a cool costume. And somebody calls Ronan to kill her. Ronan was one of the Kree, but he's one of the accusers, and they have these weird bomb ships in space. And Sam Jackson, as Nick Fury, really loves that cat, the Flarkin. He really loves it. He's like, oh, look at the little kitty cat. Bliddity blue. They fly around. The cat fucking flies with them. And he's like, ooh, aren't you a little fucking cat? We find out that the core of the Lightspeed engine is the Tesseract, which we learned from the other movies is, housed one of the Infinity Stones, and it's super powerful and whatnot. But really all that Ben Mendelsohn's Skrull character wanted to do was get together with his children and try to get them to safety. And it turns out the Skrull are good people. They just want to fucking be safe and escape the people that are hunting them. And then Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, meets with the Supreme Intelligence again, and they're playing Come As You Are, As You Were, As I Wanted You to Be. And it's just like way on the nose. I really don't like the soundtrack of this, because it's all just 90s, like, hey, remember the 90s? The 90s. Come As You Are, As You Were. That relates to the fucking... Supreme Intelligence is kind of a bitch. She doesn't really give a shit. And then there's more memories where, like, guys are telling Carol Danvers, like, girls can't do stuff. You're never gonna be strong enough. You can't do what men do. And then Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, is like, my name is Carol. And then she fucking busts out of the little restraint thing they had on her so she could have her full power. And then she becomes a Super Saiyan. You know what I mean by that? She gets big old glowy powers and fucking crazy fire and blonde hair, whatever. I mean, I guess she already had blonde hair, but now she's got crazy powers. Cause her name is Carol. Damn it. And then we see the Flarkin cat eat the Tesseract. It's also, like, sometimes eating some of the bad guys they're trying to fight. But whatever, it eats the Tesseract. And then there's a big old fight scene. And the song there, when she's fighting all of these people, is I'm Just a Girl. By No Doubt or Gwen Stefani or whatever. And I was like, come on, dude. How on the nose can you get? But, like, oh, she's kicking ass and she's the girl. That's girl power right there. That's what I say. Girl power. She's, like, cast out or exploded out of a fucking ship. And then, like, right before she hits the ground, she learns how to fly. Something snaps in her brain. She's like, it's flying time. So then she has ultimate Superman abilities, and she's able to fly around and fuck things up with her crazy powers. And then the guy that she was training with, that Jan Rog, is like, can you do it, lady? Can you do all this stuff? Can you fight me without using your powers? And then she just fucking blasts him. I have nothing to prove to you. Like, okay. I mean, but you're still just using your powers. You're still not a good fighter, I guess. Whatever. And then the fucking... Alright, this part really bothers me. There's a scene where Sam Jackson, Nick Fury, is talking to the cat. He's messing around with the cat. And then the cat scratches him. And that's how you get that's how he got his eye patch. Because some stupid cat in a stupid movie scratched his eye. That really just eliminates all great moments from the past. In Civil War, I'm pretty sure Nick Fury says, I trusted somebody in the past and they betrayed me. Ooh, that sounds kind of cool. Turns out it was a fucking cat, and I do not appreciate what they've done with that. Anyway, Nick Fury gets the pager that we saw in Infinity War, the one to call her. And then Nick Fury is also like he's writing some shit in his office, and then he sees a picture of her next to her Air Force jet, and it's called, like, she's Carol Danvers, the Avenger or something. So then he decides to call the initiative the Avengers, which I feel it seems slightly insulting, because Captain America was the first Avenger, and that was, I mean, they called him the first Avenger before this movie, and that was a while ago. This is the 90s. I don't know, it just seems slightly insulting to call it, like, he changes the name to the Avengers because of her? She destroys all the ships that are supposed to be bombing and you know, killing the Skrulls and whatnot. She allows the Skrulls to take off to a new place and, you know, have a good home or whatever. And that's sort of the end of the movie, but then there's obviously a mid-credits scene, and I think it was the moment in, it was either Infinity War or Endgame, where Captain Marvel shows up while, like, Thor and all the Avengers are talking in their place, and she just shows up and is like, what do we need to do? What's going on? So that's sort of the mid-credits scene. It's fine. It's whatever. Just sort of shows her showing up, whatever. And then in the post-credits scene, we see the cat going, bleh, 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 and then puking out the Tesseract. You know, cats do that thing. Bleh, bleh. And then there's the Tesseract coming out of the cat's body, and that's the end of the movie. I think it's semi-entertaining as a movie. I think this is this is ranked pretty low on the MCU scale. I don't like how they really, like, sort of put it in your face, the whole feminist thing. I know it sounds stupid, but, like, they really ham-fisted that shit in there. I'm just a girl while she's punching people, and they, like, the soundtrack is kind of fucking gross. I'm not a huge fan of Brie Larson. I thought they could have done a little bit better with the casting, but whatever. I mean, she sort of looked the part, whatever. There's a lot of fun stuff, but it also kind of ruins certain things. Like the scratch on Nick Fury's eye, like, that should have been a more, like, a bigger, like, emotional, personal thing. But they just make it like a cat scratch, and that's really fucking stupid. The de-aging wasn't that bad. I didn't like it the first time I watched it, but it's okay. Not really sure what else to say about it. Like, she's sort of overpowered. When she gets her full ability again, she's sort of Superman. So they only have to use, they need to use her sparingly, because she's way too powerful. And the whole, like, men telling you that you're a woman and you're not strong enough thing, like, man, they did that too much. So, I mean, it's entertaining. It's okay. Like, I could rewatch it, but it's also, it's very low on my list of, you know, MCU movies that I would rewatch. I really like Ben Mendelsohn. I really do. I love that actor. Talks with cotton balls in his mouth. Sam Jackson was cool, you know, of course, but, you know, they de-aged him, which was, it's a little off-putting in certain scenes, but they actually did a decent job. So anyway, I guess in summation, it's fine. I don't really care for it that much, but it's fine. I mean, it's good. It's good to have, like, a strong female character. I don't feel like this movie made it seem like she earned it. Whatever, they don't always have to. It definitely had that moment where it's like, it's the believe in yourself moment. It's the, like, the true power was in you all along. All you needed to do was just be mad about something. But whatever. I mean, look at the stuff that I like. In order to get stronger, you just gotta get mad, and then you get strong. But also, men are gonna tell you that you can't do stuff. And those men are mean. But women can do stuff too. So anyway, that's it for this review. Thanks for watching. I hope you had a nice time. Feel free to leave a comment if you'd like to. I enjoy hearing what you guys have to say. Anyway, peace out, guys. Have a good one. I'll catch you on the next thing.
Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Welcome back to Wack Reviews. I'm Christina Wack, or Wack or I'm just a girl in a world. I, I, the world has forced me to hold your hand. Take this pink ribbon off my eyes. I'm exposed, and it's no big surprise.
It's the 90s.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear a wig. That way, I look like a girl in the world. That's all that you'll let me be. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna fucking wear it. Bloop. We gotta go get him. Cree hostage, and we gotta go. Fucking Jesus Christ. Fucking Jesus, dude. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here, friends. Doing a thing. And of course, people in the. Her. Women aren't strong enough to be pilots and do things. The whole time she was wearing that 9 Inch Nails shirt, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little distracting. I couldn't stop looking at her boobs and the fucking NIN thing on her shirt. I'm just gonna be honest, I'm a guy. That's what I was looking at. Those boobs are some 9 Inch Nail motherfuckers, all I'm saying. I'm just a girl in the world. That's all that you let me be. It's the 90s.